in the country's public and private institutions, promised mass protests to show grievances. Details in a moment. Stay with us.
I first started using Knorr chicken stock cubes for seasoning. I'd mash them into a paste with olive oil and rub it in to lock in the flavours. Some say you can't buy taste. I disagree. Knorr chicken stock cubes. Try it for yourself.
The BT 50% price drop brings you an earth-shattering offer for a limited time on super reliable broadband. Get BT Broadband and unlimited UK weekend calls for £5 a month. That's 50% off. And it's just a 12-month contract. Plus get BT TV subscription-free for a whole year. Including free BT Sport, the only place to watch the UEFA Champions League live. But hurry, the BT 50% price drop ends 30th of September. Switch to BT today with 0800 500 289 or visit bt.com/drop.
It's good to have you back on TVC News. Peace is in the air, but as the world marks the International Day of Peace, commemorations won't be complete without the special attention on the nearest country on earth plagued by an age-long crisis. Busolami Tuashi has more.
South Sudan, a country full of potential, yet troubled by deep-seated ethnic crisis. A country that once beamed the rays of possibilities. A country created to show how far humanity had come on the journey of absolute peace. On the streets are casualties of war, malnourished children, raped and tortured, women and men, battered, homeless and in despair. But no more. These students and women cry out.
When we understand ourselves, when we cooperative, when we love each other, this will be South Sudan.
The United Nations is also not resting on its oars. Peace must return to South Sudan.
That the United Nations stands committed to support this process. If South Sudan is to return to the path of peace and development, there is no alternative to silencing the guns once and for all. I hope that we can work together to consolidate the peace.
But these are not promises new to the people, and this is certainly not the time for rhetorics.
Partnership for peace, dignity for all. I think there's no other theme that is so relevant to the people of South Sudan than this theme. The people of South Sudan lost peace, and being in war, that caused enormous suffering to the people of South Sudan. And being partnership with the international community, our people, on peace, is a very important slogan.
The United Nations mission in South Sudan, established following a Security Council resolution in 2011 to consolidate peace and security in collaboration with the South Sudan Peace and Reconciliation Commission, marks 2015 International Peace Day in Juba. Busolami Tuashi, TVC News.
A mass demonstration against corruption in South Africa will take place at the end of the month. Thousands of people from all walks of life will join the anti-corruption march in Cape Town and Pretoria to protest against unacceptable levels of corruption in government and the private sector. TVC's Southern African correspondent Marcel Gordon reports.
40,000 in 1 year. That's the number of fraud and corruption charges investigated by the staff of the Public Protector in 2014. It's a number which South Africa's civil society organizations have declared an epidemic, and they are taking a stand. The anti-corruption march takes place on the 30th of September, one to Parliament in Cape Town and another to the Union Buildings in Pretoria. Organizers say it's a symbolic laying down of the gauntlet to those in power in both public and private sectors.
The question's role. The scourge of corruption is depriving us of service delivery, of social development, of social cohesion, and it needs to be tackled from all angles wherever we see it.
Many of these same groups put together the massive anti-xenophobia streets of inner-city Johannesburg earlier this year. This time they plan to hand over memorandums of demand, including the need for political funding to be made public and for public protectors' various findings to be legally binding.
We really are doomed if we don't take radical action towards making sure that this problem is solved.
Organisers of the Unite Against Corruption March say that corruption in both government and business, they say corruption is a parasite that could destroy all of the goodwill built up by South Africa over the last 20 years of democracy. They've also moved to dismiss all accusations that this march is only going to be used to score cheap political points against the current government.
Our appeal has gone out to every church, to every political party, to every trade union federation in this country. We're saying put aside party political differences, put aside any other differences. This march does not have a hidden political agenda. It has an open agenda, and that agenda is starting a serious pushback against corruption.
300 organizations have already pledged their support for the mass demonstration. Marcel Gordon, TVC News, Johannesburg.
The South African Supreme Court says state prosecutors will argue at an appeal hearing set for Paralympic gold medalist Oscar Pistorius on November the 3rd. Pistorius was convicted of culpable homicide for killing his girlfriend, River Steenkamp, in February 2013 and sentenced to 5 years in prison. Well, prosecutors now want the verdict changed to murder, which would result to a minimum sentence of 15 years in prison. This comes a month after Pistorius was due to be released into house arrest after serving 10 months of his sentence. South African Justice Minister Michael Masuta blocked his release, saying procedure had not been followed, and referred the case to a parole review board, which is expected to hold a hearing next month. United Nations envoy Bernardino Leon has told Libya's warring parties that there will be no more negotiations on a UN peace plan. As talks in Morocco broke out for the Muslim holiday, which runs from Wednesday until Sunday, Leon had told delegates from Libya's rival parliaments, when they return, we expect a straight answer. Leon has been trying for months to come up with a compromise between the conflicting claims of the two administrations, which will allow the formation of a united government. This is expected to help tackle the rise of jihadist groups and people smuggling across the Mediterranean to Europe. And TVC News continues in a moment. Stay with us.
What do you do to reveal your underarms? Just shave. But shaving can cause irritation. Dove Compress contains 1/4 moisturizing cream to help skin recover. So for beautiful underarms, just use Dove. All the care of Dove in a compressed can.
Introducing new Surf with fragrance release. New Surf with fragrance release. For burst after burst of uplifting fragrance.
Moon River, wider than a mile.
Wherever you'll be going, I'll be going your way. I'll be crossing you in style someday. Hey yo, dream maker, wanderlust in your wild. Heartbreaker, I'ma cross you in style. Where you're going, I'll be. Yo, I'll be going your way.
You're welcome back. Here are the top stories we're reporting at this time. Burkina Faso's military head warns of repercussions if presidential guards are attacked. Nigeria's Senate president pleads not guilty to all 13-count charges of false declaration of assets. South Africans march to protest against corruption in government and private sectors. Armed rangers in South Africa's Kruger Park have killed nearly 500 Mozambicans for poaching activities over the past 5 years. This is according to the South African National Parks Agency. Kruger, a main tourist attraction in the country, is on the front lines of a surge in rhino poaching aimed at meeting a demand in countries such as Vietnam, where it is a prized possession. A spokesman at Kruger says data was not available on the number of poaching related arrests made in the past year. The majority are Mozambicans. In June last year, Mozambique approved a new law introducing tougher penalties against convicted poachers, including heavy fines and prison sentences of up to 12 years. Macedonia is under tremendous pressure with the constant flooding of migrants and refugees. But with the support and hard work of aid workers, it has managed to cope with the pressure so far. In Gevgelija town, hundreds of refugees have taken trains through Macedonia from the Greek border to the edge of Serbia. Senior Emergency Coordinator of UN Refugee Agency, Alexandra Kraus, says in the past 10 days, average daily arrivals and departures have increased.
Well, we have in the last 10 days an average daily arrival and departure rate of 6,300. Since yesterday 6 p.m. until now, we already had 5,600. At the moment it's very quiet, but we know that the buses will arrive soon.
I had a family who lost their 2 children in the sea, and also I had actually one woman who lost her husband in the sea, so that was most challenging, but also a very sad story by the refugees when they're coming here and to get some help from us.
People that lack proper warm clothing and the risk of people having frostbites and the potential of them losing fingers because of the frostbite, so hypothermia is possible to happen, and that's our only scare in that moment. We do not want it to come to that situation.
A Russian court in Donetsk has begun hearing in a case against a Ukrainian helicopter pilot over the murder of 2 Russian journalists killed by mortar fire in eastern Ukraine last year. The trial, which had caused outrage in Kiev and the West, could earn accused Nadia Savchenko up to 25 years in prison. Savchenko, who last year was elected to Ukraine's parliament in absentia, spent over a year in custody in Russia, during which she protested her detention by going on hunger strike for more than 80 days. Riot police armed with machine guns stood outside the court as snipers watched on from the roof of a nearby apartment block. Journalists were barred from the courtroom and made to watch the trial via video link. Venezuela and Colombia have agreed to restore their respective ambassadors following a diplomatic spat sparked by Venezuela's closure of the border between the 2 countries and the deportation of hundreds of Colombians. The 2 Andean nations had expelled each other's envoys amid a campaign in August by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro to crack down on smuggling of subsidized fuel and food that angered Colombia's government. Maduro met with Colombian President Juan Manuel Santos in Ecuador to defuse tensions with the 2 sides, agreeing to progressively normalize the border and hold ministerial meetings in Caracas about the border situation on Wednesday. And Ivory Coast Football Federation have confirmed the Elephants will face Morocco in a friendly in Agadir on October 9th. The match will serve as a preparation for the upcoming 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Both sides will kick off their campaign in November. The African champions are taking on Liberia or Guinea-Bissau, and the Atlas Lions battling Equatorial Guinea. The Ivorians enjoy a decent record against Morocco with 5 wins, 6 draws and 4 defeats, and have not fallen to the North Africans since a 1-0 loss in the 1996 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers in November 1994. Michel Desailly's men will resume a camp in Agadir on October the 5th. And former world champion Jenson Button is set to retire from Formula One after 16 years, following failed talks to extend his stay at McLaren. The news will be announced as soon as this weekend's Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka, his favorite track. A mixture of doubts surrounding his 2016 race seat and the competitiveness of the McLaren-Honda package are behind Button's decision. After spending the winter of 2014 waiting to see if he would be retained, a 2009 world champion would prefer to walk away rather than suffer the indignity of being snubbed by the team in favor of one of the junior drivers. 35-year-old's career has yielded 1 world championship with a bronze and 15 victories from 278 races so far. And finally, here's a recap of our top stories. Burkina Faso's military head warns of repercussions if presidential guards are attacked. Nigeria's Senate president pleads not guilty to all 13-count charges of false declaration of assets. South Africans march to protest against corruption in government and private sectors. And 5 people killed and dozens injured in car bomb explosion close to presidential palace in Somalia. For more details, you can visit our website, tvcnews.tv, and watch all our videos on YouTube. I'm Lee Puilo. Thanks for your company.
The Weather Report, proudly sponsored by British Airways. Weather Report, proudly sponsored by British Airways.
I used to battle frizz after every wash. Then my stylist told me about a Salon Smooth that lasts even through washes.
New Tresemme Keratin Smooth 7-day heat-activated treatment. Activate with heat and you'll enjoy frizz resistance for as many as 7 days. Tresemme, professional at your fingertips.
The BT 50% price drop brings you an earth-shattering offer for a limited time only on super reliable broadband. Get BT broadband and unlimited UK weekend calls for £5 a month. That's 50% off, and it's just a 12-month contract. You'll get our most reliable wireless connection, so you can enjoy a great online experience. Plus, you can connect when you're out and about with the UK's largest network of Wi-Fi hotspots. But hurry, the BT 50% price drop ends 30th of September. Switch to BT today. Call 0800 200 700 or visit bt.com/drop.
My name is Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. I'm the chairperson of the African Union Commission, and you're watching TVC through African eyes.
African women have gone beyond the sidelines, forging ahead to the very forefront across Africa.
Stop blaming people, and I stop saying, oh, it's because they didn't give me this.
Working as career women, business owners and homemakers, their heroic deeds and achievements are indeed admirable. While there are still areas to conquer, they march on boldly. Join us on A Woman's World as we celebrate these women, treating topical issues and of course talk fashion and business. That's A Woman's World, Tuesday, 9:30 Central African Time on TVC News.
There are issues, burning issues that must be contained, political issues that must be explored, legal issues that must be put right, democratic issues that must be embraced, African issues that must be understood.
Get answers to these and other pressing issues on Africa Today with Mike Okwache on TVC News through African Eyes.
Zeal, fervor,
devotion,
diligence,
enthusiasm, ardor,
eagerness,
intensity.
These all describe one news operation, TVC News.
We love bringing you the news. TVC News, passion.
TVC News, through African eyes.
Now you can enjoy the very best of infotainment as we take you round the world of entertainment in less than 30 minutes.
On the Town, showing these time on TVC News.
TVC News, effectively covering Africa and the world through African eyes.
I require this case wrapped up for the 1st of October. Independent.
The beginning of next season.
Director, Mission Business School, Larry Shileko.
An investigation into the recent killing of...
Today I'm in Lagos, tomorrow London. We cover stories around the world. You're watching TVC News through African eyes. Hello and welcome to On the Road. I'm Wanja Mungai and I'm happy to have you tuned in to today's exciting show. Today we are exchanging punches in Burkina Faso as we witness the greats and mighties of West Africa, then fly back east to Kenya's coastlines before ending our excursions in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Let's do this. Traditional wrestling is big in West Africa, such that in some countries like Senegal, it's a national sport. In Burkina Faso, it's not as big as it was back in the day, but you'll still spot a match once in a while in a place like Bobo Dioulasso. Visa fees to Burkina Faso are $100. ECOWAS community members do not require one. People from about 50 nations of the world require visas on arrival to Burkina Faso. It takes 3 to 4 days to acquire an emergency one within 24 hours, though you need to pay an extra $50. Ouagadougou Airport is a point of entry to this country. It is about 1 kilometer southeast of the central business district. To get to Bobo Dioulasso, where the traditional wrestling championships take place, you take a connecting flight to land at Bobo Dioulasso Airport. Air tickets could range anywhere between $100 to $400. Public service buses are also available, taking about 5 hours for roughly $10 a trip. Alternatively, you could drive yourself in a hired car, which is rent out for about $60. With its 4 zealously maintained rooms, prime bathrooms, atmospheric veranda, colorful green and pool, Villa Bobo is a delight. $60 is all you need for a comfortable stay here. Like Ouaga 2000 is another option for a more delightful stay at $140. Feeling peckish? Catch Bobo Dioullasso's best ginger grilled carb at Lviv. Just don't let the slow and soothing background music lull you into siesta. Let's now see which men in the lands of the upright people are still standing tall. Be ready to cheer. The current heroes of Burkina Faso wage war on their opponents. Unlike these depicted in statues in Ouagadougou, men like Romaric Kwame stand tall today. 400 kilometers from the capital, an age-old tradition thrives. Today is a big day here in Bobo Dioulasso. National Wrestling Championship is on. Romaric is charging, ready to descend on his opponent. The crowd restless, eager for the next warrior.
Bon, je vous remercie d'avoir me donné l'occasion.
We have competitions in all provinces, and it's the best who are chosen for the highlight, that is the national championship.
68 wrestlers are up for the fight. Each one of them hoping for two things, a win or a win. This sport of tussling and grappling dates back 5,000 years ago in ancient Egypt. Traditional wrestling is popular as in most West African countries. Even though the styles of combat vary from country to country, the rules are universal. For one to carry the day, he has to get the opponent to the ground. The victorious brawlers are revered and are treated with honor and respect. So much so that in some areas, a champ gets a wife as a present. Senegal's popular lamb is probably the region's most lucrative. Contestants can take home as much as $200,000 to $300,000. Elsewhere in Ouagadougou, another show for the great and mighty is heating up. Organized by the World Boxing Council WBC, the battle pits two pugilists, Burkinabe Alexis Kabore in the red corner and Benin's Fatih Fazinou in the blue. The rivals are contesting for the International Super Bantamweight Boxing Championship. After a fierce matchup, Fazinou is knocked down to the canvas. Alexis retains his belt. The result? A unanimous decision. Back to Bobo Dioulasso, Romaric's opponent beats the dust, and Romaric remains the last man standing. For the bachelors, you now know what skills you need to earn yourself a wife. In East Africa, it doesn't work like that. You can't win yourself a wife in the ring. You've got to go the old-fashioned way. We'll now take a short break. We'll be right back at Kenya's coast. Welcome back. Lamu, Kenya is an untouched piece of paradise, and you all agree with me from our previous visits to the island. Let's remind ourselves how to make it there. To go to Lamu, you land at Moi International Airport in Mombasa. There are several ways of getting to Lamu from Mombasa. You could connect with a flight to Manda Airstrip or by bus to Shella Village via Tahmid or Tawakal bus services, where you pay less than $10. A fancier and more adventurous way is by boat, which is definitely the most expensive means, charging about $1,000 or more for a trip. Janat House is a laid-back but anything a Lone Ranger would be looking for, but at an affordable rate. A night goes for just $45. If that doesn't do you justice, then the exotic red pepper will offer you an exotic royal experience of a lifetime. The hotel nestles between a heavenly beach and an enchanting forest, allowing guests to experience the magic of both worlds and lose themselves in the contrasting sounds of Africa. And it comes with a cost of $650. Make sure you book in advance. There are only 5 rooms. If you need to keep alert, have the best coffee at a beautiful garden setting full of sculptures and flowers. Friendly and professional service is also expected. For some of us, a holiday is never complete without swimming, and this privilege we take for granted is revered by some. For women, especially Muslim women visiting Lamu, no longer have to worry about spending a holiday without a swim, because there is a swimming pool for women only.
With the temperatures high in Lamu, Tourists and locals are heading to beaches and pools to cool off and exercise. But for these girls and women in Lamu, taking a dive into the inviting waters isn't so easy. Many of them are Muslims and can't swim off the public beaches or in swimming pools. Culture does not allow them to mix with boys.
Our ladies, our wives, our sisters, most of them cannot swim. And the reason why they cannot swim because of our Islamic and cultural values. We do not allow men and women to mingle together on the beaches and other public areas, especially when it comes to swimming.
The island's beautiful beaches are mainly occupied by men who are either fishing or swimming. Despite their respect for cultural beliefs, women in Lamu are worried about their inability to save themselves from drowning in the sea in case of an accident while commuting. Travel in Lamu is mainly by boats, which ferry passengers around and within the island. Most are still haunted by the boat tragedy that happened about 3 years ago. 8 people drowned, 5 of them were women.
As you know, Lamu, the means of transport is through the sea. And in most cases, whenever an accident happens, they are the victims.
But this is now changing, and safety is a priority. Another potentially welcome change, the community is breaking the gender barrier by introducing the first ever women-only swimming pool in the area.
I don't know that you own it.
Just over a year ago, Marit Silva and her husband Jens Christian pooled their cash to build the Brighter Stars swimming pool. The women-only swimming pool rests on a 2,300 square meter plot in the area. The two Norwegians have been living in Lamu for the past 12 years.
We really have been very pleased to see that it seems to be a local success, mainly for the women. And we also see that in a way an unintended consequence is that women has also got a place to meet.
For most women and girls here, this is the first opportunity to learn how to swim.
This school is really helping us, and also the people who don't know how to swim, many of them they know because they've been coming here swimming and they've been trained.
A female instructor clocks on every day for special lessons at the pool. Nandi has been training the girls for 3 months now.
Your body should fall.
The ladies here swim free of charge. There are about 100 members in the pool, and the numbers expand by the day. Most of them are students from a secondary school close by.
I've come close to all these families and all the women in the pool and all the girls who are just so excited and eager to learn. They love this opportunity that they have here now at the pool. And you can really see it when they speak about it and when they...
And because the Muslim woman is expected to preserve her modesty, swimming here is done in full school uniform or in full-length dresses. The local authority managing the pool say the bikini is not in line with regulations in the Islamic culture. Schoolgirls in Lamu can now participate in friendly swimming competitions held in their schools annually. They are allowed to compete with the boys in the same pool, but are not allowed to battle on the same swimming lanes. To many people in Lamu, it doesn't seem that it was so hard to change attitudes. From now, these women and girls in Lamu will be navigating the waters as they try to find their way into the ocean, one leap at a time.
And after splashing the waters, it's now time to take a break. We'll be right back.
Radox transforms your mood. With fragrances inspired by nature's best ingredients, you can feel awake. Radox, how do you want to feel? Now 2 for £1.50 at Asda.
If you're paying through the nose for broadband, you might be tempted to give up and become a full-time off-grid spoon whittler. But hold on! PlusNet has prices you're gonna love. Unlimited broadband from just £2.50 a month for 12 months when you take line rental. How many spoons do you really need? Feel the love with unlimited broadband from just £2.50 a month for 12 months. That's better! Don't miss out! Unlimited broadband from just £2.50 a month. Great service at a great price. It's broadband that loves you back. Call 0800 313 4444. PlusNet will do you proud.
Welcome back. Glad you're still watching On the Road, Africa's #1 travel guide. I'm Onja Mungai, and our last lap of treks takes us to a Central African nation that has seen numerous change of names, from Congo to Belgian Congo, Congo Free State to Zaire, and now the Democratic Republic of Congo. Its capital, Kinshasa, formerly Leopoldville, is where we're headed. You will need a visa to visit the Democratic Republic of Congo's capital, Kinshasa. For a single entry visa, you can expect to pay from $50 to $100 depending on your nationality. All visa applications should be submitted at least a fortnight before departure. Kinshasa's Djuli International Airport is served by direct flights on the continent from Johannesburg, Nairobi, Addis Ababa and Casablanca, and with connections from Europe, Paris, Brussels and Istanbul. Getting from the airport to the town center takes around 1 hour and will cost you approximately $30 to $50 in a taxi. Alternatively, you can get a shuttle offered by one of the travel companies right outside the arrival's door. Getting from A to B around Kinshasa can be done in a minibus, which costs around 35 US cents. You can also hire cars for $75 per day. For hotel, you can sleep at Leisure Plaza Maya Hotel. This 5-star hotel goes for $520 per night. The rate also includes airport transfer. Hotel Ab Mahia is a cheapo at $50 a night and breakfast. You can dine in a floating restaurant at the Majestic River Restaurant based on the Congo River Basin on the Malabo Pool. Kinshasa is the Democratic Republic of Congo's capital. It sits at the banks of River Congo, separating it from Brazzaville in neighboring Republic of Congo. And this earns the two as standing as the closest capitals in the world.
Okay, travel junkies, this is Kinshasa, a great center of musical innovation, a city of fashion, a massive francophone society. The sprawling metropolis covers an area of 9,965 square kilometers and is habited to over 10 million people. It's the third largest African city by area after Lagos and Cairo, and the second largest francophone urban area in the world after Paris. The city was once touted as Kin La Belle, French for beautiful Kinshasa. Decades of turmoil tainted its image. Slowly, its former glory is being regained with a new lease of peace. It was once hard to get around due to bad roads and lack of enough vehicles. But a boost by the Transco company enhanced mobility after launching 12 Mercedes-Benz buses. A ride from one station to the next costs 500 francs or 50 US cents.
The use of these buses will replace the infamous 207 buses, which have been causing a lot of accidents.
If you alight at the Kinshasa Academy of Fine Arts in Gombe, you will witness the sheer creativity of the Bakongo. You could also buy a slice of this innovation as a memento.
Our major customers are tourists who come to visit us. These people, although the Congo is not theirs, but they still manage to buy whatever we produce. It is what helps us to live.
Well, if you fancy expeditions more than sculptures, then you're just at the right place. Kinshasa sits at the banks of the world's deepest and Africa's second longest river, the River Congo. But what makes the visit more worthwhile if not attending some of the glamorous events?